Yo, how's it going, everyone? We have 85 people. At 100, I give away an indicator subscription to someone that comments TTFM in the chat. So once we hit 100, we'll give one away. Then we'll start. So it's probably the easiest giveaway you could have. What up? Not much. I just got back from the gym, went for a run. Gonna do this stream and then sauna, eat some food, go to bed. Got to do some work too, but there's that. All right, we're at 85. We'll see. If we don't get to 100 in 3 minutes, then we're just giving it away. Oh, we're at 100 exactly right now. All right, so I'm going to do the good old scroll and see who it lands on. So let's see. Got my side screen up. And it landed on Keith James. So Keith, if you can just shoot me a message on, do you have a Discord or Twitter? If you can shoot me a message on one of those platforms, tell me which one you messaged on, and then, yeah, actually here, I'll change it from 60 minutes, or 60 seconds. My bad. Bit slow. Right here, I'll do like 15 seconds. That's very chill. All right, Keith, just let me know what platform you message me on, and I'll get you a code for a free month. But we can give away a few more throughout this. I think I have like 5 or so we can give away. Let's see. I asked for some codes today. Yeah, we got 5 to give away. So maybe we do another one in here or another 2 in here, and then we'll do another on Twitter. What time is it for me? It is 6:40, 6:50. But yeah, how's everyone else's day going? We'll go ahead and get started with the stream now, but it's just going to be a very simple Q&A. And Discord, you messaged me? Let me see. Message request. All right, I got you. I'll send you your code. I can just do that right now really quick, honestly. Actually, well, I'll just do it after the stream. Am I traveling? No, I'm finally back in Florida. I was traveling from April until now. I've been back for a few days, and I'm not going anywhere for the rest of the year. Doing a little Sunday analysis. Do you trade the weakest asset when bearish and strongest when bullish? So yes, ideally you want to be doing that. So for instance, if we pull up 3 charts here on Friday, you can also go back through me talking about this live on Twitter. Let's see where we're at. Oh, we're a bit late. Right. Let's rewind. Okay. So we'll have NQ over here. We'll put ES here. And then we'll have YM here. And so taking a look at this, right? Which one is obviously the weakest asset? That's what you want to look at. So if you take a look, we can even do it just right off the open, right? First 3 minutes in. Which one's the weakest asset? Look at these higher time frame candles, right? As well as the lower time frame. Yeah, YM, right? So YM's the weakest asset. Now, generally, you've heard me talk about this on Twitter. YM, right? ES and NQ, right? They have a correlation. YM doesn't really correlate much, right? So I kind of use it as the outlier. If YM is bullish, usually then NQ is the bearish one and ES is in the middle, right? If YM is bearish, then normally NQ is the strongest, ES is in the middle, right? ES is normally in the middle. There's scenarios for when to trade it, which I talked about in that one trade review I posted. But by understanding, you answered that YM is the weakest. Now, if we know that, what does that make NQ? Makes NQ the most bullish, right? And you can also see that by looking here, right? YM is falling, ES is starting to fall, NQ is still holding up, right? So let's go back to NQ then. That would be the focus, right? And as we talked about, we can just rewind this, right? We have candle 2 closure, candle 3. What does candle 3 do? Closes outside candle 2. So we can look for a continuation where? Just from the upper half of this. Now I know there's a lot of drama on Twitter about people saying, use the previous day's close and then look for manipulation below it, etc. It's not that deep. It's called just use 0.5 of this. We have the next candle. Just use the daily open of that, and you're just looking for open, low, high, close. It's not that deep. So that's the whole idea. If you've watched my video on the 4-hour candles, this is the example we essentially went over, right? But if we want to see 0.5 be respected, where do we want to see that be respected? It's going very slowly. Well, 0.5 of the previous day's range. So I'm actually just going to throw this on daily and hourly. So we have the daily candles up there, right? We want to see 0.5 of this be respected, right? We form this wick. That means London reversal. We want to see New York continue. Many people took the 15-minute trade, which is very valid, right? So if we turn this back to automatic, right? Valid to take that 15-minute, right? Because we have protected swings here. Or there's ways to trade this in New York, right? Now let's talk about that, because that's what I walked through on Twitter. It confused some people. Other people got trades off of it, which is great. Essentially, if we go back to our thinking here, if we are bullish to this previous day high, YM is the weakest. We want to focus on NQ, but we still want to wait for YM to reverse, because once YM reverses, right, that's when we can get that expansion on NQ. So all I was waiting for was we'll go a few minutes at a time, was for YM to take this low out, right? I don't know why it just skipped ahead, but once YM took the low out, that's when I was focused on ES here, or not ES, NQ. And if we go back into here, that's here, right? So we form the low. You don't have to catch this low, right? And let this candle close. And then when do we, if we have a candle with a large wick, where do we want to see it be respected? 0.5. Marking out 0.5, that also lines up the change in the state of delivery. We have a swing point form, we have a protected swing, and then that's the entry to that previous day high. There you go, right? Or you could enter on the 15, anything like that. But that's a quick example of like using what I talked about Friday, live time on Twitter. So let's see real quick. Hopefully that answered your question, Slinky. Do you use inversion fair value gaps? No, but I'm going to make a video on how to use inversion fair value gaps, because it's just a lot of information that doesn't make sense out there. What about we make open low, high close with a very small low? What do we do about it then? So if you're looking for open low, high close, we'll go to the hourly, because that's what you're essentially looking for here, right? This day, bearish, bullish, bullish. We're wanting to see, and this is what the T-spot is on the indicator, right? We're wanting to see a small wick, and that's what the T-spot prints off. Small wick is defined by the wick forming in this area. And you're saying a very small wick. So you're saying if we have just a very small wick like this, right? Let's just draw something up. You're trying to say, you know, what if we have just a super small wick? Which actually that works. We don't have to draw it up, right? there's no real good opposing candles in here to use for a change in the state delivery. You see that, right? So that's where it's almost just a consolidation still. And that's where you just want to see a break over a high and close, because that's where we'd form a bearish setup. You don't want to see it close over. It's fine if we have a small wick, right? That's kind of ideal. You just need some sort of confirmation that that occurs, and you can trade the continuation, right? So we let it play. We're going 1 minute at a time doing that. Right? And you see we don't really get any confirmation of that move. Then it's the same thing. If I'm bullish, I'm still looking for what? A swing point, and then opposing candles to form, or a change in the state delivery. Right? As long as we're what? Not closing below this area. Right? Oh, look at that. Candle 2 closure. Could look to trade this if you're in London, or wait for a closure over this. When we close over that, it tells us the wick has formed. We can trade to previous day high. Right? So you mostly trade YMNQ since ES is typically the middle asset. If you watch my last trade review on my channel, you'll see that it was a scenario where we take a look. YM, so we'll say this is YM over, so here, YM, ES, right, and NQ. Wait, we're just gonna, I don't know why I'm drawing. I can just do this. ES, YM, NQ. All right, so we had this scenario. This is where I'll trade ES. So let's say I'm bullish. I want to be favoring longs. YM is the most bullish, so NQ is weaker. And then ES is kind of in the middle, right? YM already hit its target, and so it's just consolidating over highs. So it looks something like this, where we have some sort of high. YM already took out its high, right? ES is lagging, and Q is just weak, right? This is where I'm going to favor taking ES because this is my target, so then I can trade to that while this is consolidating. And then NQ can make a reversal, and then eventually NQ can catch up if it's bullish. Right, so that's a scenario where I will trade ES. And that's the one that I went over in that video. Very briefly, like 15 seconds, because I don't want to confuse people. Please explain a continuation tree. So I have a whole blog and video on this, but here is this simple way to look about it. You have what? What are we talking about? A change in the state of delivery, right? How many times do you take this trade? Only for it to go like this. Boom, stops you out, and then just goes, right? I feel like many people have had that happen. You can answer in the chat. Have you had that happen before? If you say no, you're probably lying. So for me, this is the whole basis of my model is I was like, okay, well, I'm losing taking these trades. Why don't I just wait and see if we form a low here and then I can trade it, or if we fail? Okay, so if we fail, cool, I didn't take a trade and I miss taking a loss, right? Okay, we form a low here. Oh, now I can trade it and now I have extra confirmation. So that's what I learned and taught myself, and I was like, okay, how do I actually make this mechanical? Well, I need to define a continuation entry here, and that's continuation order block, right? So that's the whole idea behind it. How do we turn off notifications? I want to redo it. What do you mean notifications? If you mean in the indicator, you just go over on the right side, you can't see on my screen, the little alerts. You'll click on that and then turn them all off, or just delete them. Hey, TTrades, do you have a video on trading during news? I wouldn't trade through CPI, FOMC, or NFP. Other news events depends, but it really comes down to watching my time video, and that should help you. Hey, so in this case, we have a 4-hour C2 bearish on YM and a bullish C4 on ES. How do you go about it? Well, you want to have the one that aligns with your bias, right? So let's say you have a bullish bias and YM is forming a bullish closure. and NQ is forming a bearish closure, right? What's likely going to happen here? If we are truly bullish, YM is going to form a low, go like this. Usually ES or NQ here will open, take out its previous candle's low, and then trade higher. That's usually what happens, unless it just reverses in here, which is not preferred. So it's mainly just identify the relative strength and weakness, and then take the one that's aligned with your bias. Don't overthink it too much. Please explain us how to take continuation entries for candle 3 and protected swings. So I just went over that, and I also have multiple videos going over that, like 3 different ones. So we will not go over that. All right, we are at 155 people. If we hit 200, we can give away another indicator. We got Keith, right? Keith won the first one. Yeah, Keith. Keith won the first one. We'll see if we hit 200, we can give away another one. When hourly C2 forms and there is a CISD in the 5-minute, so you're talking about the hourly, get a retracement in C2 into the fair value gap, but not with down close candles. Is it still valid to use a protected low and trade away from it? Yes and no, depends on the scenario. So you're talking about a situation that looks like this. Boom, boom, boom. Say it like that. So he's talking about a situation, it's like this. All right. So essentially on the other side of this, it looks something like this. Draw it. And low, close like this. Oh, whatever. Not gonna be perfect. Right, and then he's saying in this candle, we open and we drop into a fair value gap. Now he's saying in here, we have the scenario where it looks like this, where we don't have any sort of opposing candle formation. Right? Now, this is a bit different because this is a candle 4 continuation. I would have to go search for an example. But essentially, the way you decide this is you have to ask yourself a pretty simple question. Can you trust this low? A lot of times you have price reaching in, and it's just like a very shallow, not very great low, and then just slowly displaces away, comes back. Versus if you have price coming into here, really getting a nice V shape out of there, creating a wick, and it just doesn't have opposing candles here, then it's fine. I can still trust that price isn't going to go back to this low, and it's just going to trade it higher. So that just comes with experience. All right. What about correlated assets on Forex? Fairly similar. I don't really watch Forex too much, but it would just be like dollar for the most part. SMT didn't work for me. I'm sorry about that. I would focus more so on the model and then using SMT as a confluence. We'll go over this week's bias on indices. So that's the thing about me, the way I trade, and you guys can probably see it, is I don't go into the week with, hey, I'm only looking to take price in one direction, right? It's like I don't go into this week saying, okay, because the week is bullish, I'm only going to look long, right? Because for my model, it would say this actually this week. It would say, hey, you can't take a trade this week because of how my model is set up, right? I don't do that. I just look at the daily candles and how they form, right? Because for me, right? Last week, let's say you're bullish because of the closure. Do you miss this daily setup? Bearish because of that? Or you know what I mean? So for me, I'm a bit more fluid with it. I don't have that weekly bias. Like I sure have a trend, right? But specifically on this day, I can pull up the WhatsApp messages too. Like I was texting Kane and I was saying, oh, I want to like see shorts on Tuesday, right? Just because look, candle 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're at 12 candles without a swing low. That's usually when I'm not trying to trade long, especially over highs, and I want to favor a retracement. So I wouldn't go into that saying, oh, I'm only bullish because of the daily closure or the weekly closure, right? So then you could look for that day. Then once this day prints, you say, oh, all right, that aligns with the monthly, with the daily, or with the weekly. And then this is your 2 good days of continuation, right? Which, that's why, you know, it's fairly clean. SMT, you know, we just expand right away on this. So that's less ideal unless you're trading this more positionally, but this day is clean. Right, so that's kind of how I approach bias. So like I wouldn't just say, hey, this is my bias for this week, that's it, right? I just go day by day because I'm not gonna say, oh, some people will say, oh, Tuesday formed a high, I'm only looking bearish for the rest of the week and then miss this super clean move. That's not me, right? Was I looking for a little bit more downside? I didn't really care too much. I just wanted a high formed. And then if you look, our monthly candle should close near the highs since it's an expansion candle. So until October 1st, it's like, it doesn't really make sense to try to trade short. If we are going to form a short setup, it would be something where we close, price opens, reverses off of previous month's high, and then comes back into the range. Yeah. All right, so, oops, just opened Discord on accident. Let's quit that. All right, let's see what the questions. Protected swings, sir. Very respectfully, all of your questions have been answered very well in my previous videos. So I would say just watch those videos. And then if you have specific questions on them, it will be helpful. But if you just say protected swings, it's not really helpful. Will there be a lifetime price for the indicator in the future? Not currently, and that's because I'm continuously putting effort and money into the indicator. Like if you notice, we now have other things like SMT, auto SMT. We have auto bias. We also added these time labels. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Right, so now you can get your months. If you go down to the hourly, it will show you, all right, what days are right here, all of those. And then you can actually just even adjust by, okay, I don't want the 2400 format. Then you can get those type of labels, right? So it's like I'm continuously updating it and dealing with bugs and stuff like that. So it costs money to develop and keep going. So it's like it's hard to put just a one-time price on it. All right, let's see here. What other questions we got? Quick review of GXT strength switching. If you just watched the early part of this video, that's essentially what I went over. All settings for SMT are default. Yeah, that's how I use it. So I was the one that decided what to use for the SMT. So I just use it as default. Right? So if I have it as automatic, you'll notice also we cleaned up the UI. You can't even select it. So if you have it as automatic, it will do that. If you have it as custom, then it opens this up and you can change. So like, let's say for some reason on NQ, I wanted to use Bitcoin as my SMT. Click on there. Now I have Bitcoin as an SMT and NQ, right? Which I would have to throw on some history to show, but I wouldn't use that personally because that's not what I do. I would just have it on automatic. And you'll see it goes back to ES and YM. Can you explain how you approach the AM session? So it's really just, I ask myself this going into the AM session. Have we formed high or low of day? If yes, seek a continuation. If no, let the high or low form, then trade. It's just that. So let's go do that on Friday. Hey, have we formed a high or low of day? Yeah, pretty clear that London formed a reversal. So then I'm just looking for a continuation higher. Let's say we get into New York and we just have price consolidating. Okay, no, I need to let the low form. Then I wait for the manipulation. Oh, the low is formed, now I can seek a trade. Right, so it's a very simple process. You just ask yourself that. All right. How to know when you're the higher low of day formed? Candle closures or change in the state of delivery, right? So for instance, here on NQ on Friday, right? I'm not wanting, like you guys know how I trade. I don't want to see price trade down into here. If price trades down into there, it's bearish. So I'm wanting to see price hold this. Really, you can see open high, trades lower. We have this low in here that should hold. So 0.5 of that wick if you really want to get fancy. But candle closure, or you just look to the lower time frame, right? Hourly, we sweep out a low, protected swing. Oh, look at that. Protected swing. Are we bullish right now? Yeah, we're still bullish, right? Because this is our protected swing. There's nothing bearish yet. So it's really just protected swings, candle closures. That's it. Best strategy for gold. Personally, I might be a bit biased, but I would say the fractal model. But do what works for you. When getting daily bias, say Wednesday gives us a candle 2 closure with a long wick. Can we disregard the wick? No. If you're in the market lens, I'll get to you. I have a few tags in there. I've just been busy today. I got 10 tags to get to. So your question essentially is kind of like this. You have a large wick here. Do I disregard it? Well, if I go up here and turn off the wicks, or even here, that's not really helpful, right? Like it doesn't give me any reference. On expansion days, sure, you can make a case for it, whatever. But you don't want to disregard the wick. The wick is telling you the information that price opened, it went lower and then back up, right? So we have a V-shaped reversal on the lower time frame. That shows me what? I want to see 0.5 of this wick be respected if price is going to trade higher. If price opens, trades down to here, it's going to go take out the low. Right, so I don't disregard it. I use it as information. Best strategy for gold. This is a lot of questions about gold. We'll just put it on the screen. So, best strategy for gold. Mine. All right. Maybe we can put fair value gaps on higher time frame candles. So I won't do that because it doesn't help me at all with my strategy. Like I'm not really caring for fair value gaps in here because the way I trade is I'm expecting after a reversal forms, this is an example, whatever. For reversal forms, I'm expecting expansion. I'm not using this to reference any fair value gaps, so it wouldn't help me in my analysis. I'm brand new today and I learned what YM stands for. Nice. Yeah, so it's just it's your futures for your IWM, you know, your ETF, all of that index. What is the SMT of gold futures? So we'll do this. GC. This is what I use for SMT. I use gold euro and gold GBP. Well, it's not going to show on there, but XAU euro, XAU GBP. You can use silver, but a lot of times it's not very correlated, so you only use it when it is correlated. Can you go over using M3, M5 fractal model in trading the 4-hour profiling? Your last video didn't understand. It's a bit more of a complex subject. I talk about it quite a bit in my mentorship, and that's with Garrett as well. But if you studied that one example I gave, it should help out quite a bit. Probably not do that tonight just because it'll take too much time. And my sauna is almost warm. Can't think of any questions, but seems as you are live, you can read this live. I mean, you just want me to sit here and watch this? I mean, sure. There's not really much to do. Like I wouldn't be taking a trade here. Like sure, my model says, hey, if we're going to trade to this high, which would be favorable to here, I'd want to see price open, make a low, do that. Right, where should I see that low formed? Well, within my model, it'd be valid for it to form right here. Also down here, but at that point, it's getting a bit close to these failure swings. So we're on gold. I didn't even look at the asset. If gold, I'm looking to trade it higher towards its previous week's high, right? Then I'd want to see a low formed here. That's really it. There's nothing to trade. Like, I think you may misunderstand how I trade. You want me to like live trade right now? Maybe in the New York session. Not here. This is how I'd lose money. Is there a setting showing what settings need to be updated for our indicator to display hours and daily on the candle? Well, we can just go over that. So the first thing I want to do is, let's use like a random template here. The first thing you want to do is make sure you right click the indicator and hit update script. That will update it to the most recent version. And if you have templates, you can't see them on my screen, but make sure you hit file and save them. Or not file, but templates and save them. You just want to double click or go into the settings on it. And then here where it says higher time frame candles, just hit enable time labels. And then you can decide, do you want the 24-hour candle like that? So it'll go, 10, 14, 18, or AM and PM. So it'd be like 2 PM here instead. Just that's your personal preference. Just to confirm, I can use a 15-minute swing point into a 1-minute entry without taking the 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily into consideration. That is not something I would confirm personally. That is not something I would do. If you just want to pattern train something like that, you're probably going to get wrecked. For example, let's go to NQ 1 minute. We'll throw the history up. Right. If I have no bias here, it's going to mark out like every swing, right? So sure, can I find a short in here? Sure. Right? Can I find a short in here? Sure. This isn't really helping because all of these are like pretty much working out. But right here, right? Boom, you're going to get chopped up a bunch in here, right? That one would have worked. But what I mean is, if you don't have some sort of higher time frame bias, you're just going to get so sucked into the lower time frames and lose sight of what's going on. You're just going to miss everything, right? I would say you want to have some sort of bias. So like for instance, let's just use auto bias 1 on this case, see what it does. Right? And it cleans it up, right? Because in here, the 4 hour, or not, in this case, the 1 hour is bullish. Right? So it's only looking for longs. You can see, looks for a long, there is no long that forms in here because price opens highs first. Right? Finds a long. This one doesn't work, it just consolidates. Right? But it doesn't eventually trade higher. Here it's only looking for shorts because if we go to the hourly chart, the hourly is bearish. Mechanically with the model. Actually, I think I might reference the 30-minute. I'd have to go look back in the settings. I don't use the 1 minute time frame. Are you waiting for NQ? No, guys, I'm not trading this. I rarely trade Mondays, and I'm not going to trade Monday at 1900. Like, what is this range? 5 points. And what have we done? Just, yeah. Sure, if you catch like the open somehow. What? 30 points? Cool. It's not how I trade. Yeah, you could look, like I said, going back to gold. Right? If I want to trade this, I'm just going to let the intraday profile tell me, use candle closures, use the change in the state of delivery. Do we come down in here and form a protected swing or a candle closure that tells me we have formed the wick low? Right now, I would not be confident in saying that we have formed the wick low of the day. So why would I try to trade it? You know what I mean? Do I trade on Monday? It has to be a Friday reversal for me to trade on Monday. It's a bit rare. 19 September, that continuation protected swing didn't retrace into a fair value gap. 19th of September. I don't know what asset you're talking about. Did you wait for setups after New York Open, or do you take them whenever the framework shows up? I like to align them with a higher low of day forming. So, for instance, we'll go back to NQ for this example. Right? I could honestly care a little bit less when we form the low in here. Sure, I could say, okay, I prefer the classic London reversal. Yes, I do. But I truly care less. The only thing I care about is, okay, I trust that this wick has formed. Once I trust the wick has formed, I just expect price to continue. So I don't really care about kill zones or anything like that. I just say, oh, the wick has formed. Now I'm looking to get on side with that. I do care about drivers because let's say, hey, I don't have a swing point in here to trade off of. We have 930 open. Price could run lower to make a swing to then trade higher, right? It's like that's where you get into some of the lower time frame stuff. But I don't really care about the timing of it. I just want to be trading let the wick form on multiple time frames, right? So if you go into the New York session here, this day, 6 a.m., we're up here. I'm expecting 6 a.m. to have formed its wick and its daily to have formed its wick. So it's valid for me to look for longs. And I'll show you what I mean by that. We get on the charts here. You can just go click this button. Right. It's the old indicator. We'll update it. I haven't updated my templates yet. But the whole thing here is, look, I've expected this wick to have formed on the daily, so I'm expecting the daily to trade higher. I'm expecting this wick to have formed on the 4 hour, so I'm expecting it to trade higher. All the time frames are pointing green. And so then if you go to like Twitter on how I marked it out, we formed a protected swing. When we form a protected swing, it's not going to replay. That's great. But then I'm expecting this low to form. Well, if all my time frames are bullish and we have a protected low, that's when an entry works. So, bro, when we have a CISD on the hourly, do we take entry from the hourly or go to the lower time frame? You can do either. It just, whatever works for you. I know a lot of people that just enter on the hourly. That's great. Oh, wow, I just skipped ahead a lot of questions. Protocol for high impact news days. Just don't trade right before the news. You're chilling. DIA is the YM ETF. It shows you how much I trade them. I only really trade SPY and QQQ for options. Close enough. Give me a break. Could you show some examples of a continuation without it reaching a fair value gap? I mean, I don't really feel like searching, so we're just going to use the same one. Right here, doesn't hit a fair value gap after it sweeps the low. On this initial candle closure, I wouldn't trust this personally. Once it closes over there, sure. But that doesn't reach a fair value gap. Another example, you'll see it sometimes when it looks like this. We're just drawing. There's no fair value gap there. No fair value gap down here. But you're not expecting price to go all the way to this low. So really, you're expecting a continuation here without it reaching technically a point of interest. So there's just some anomalies sometimes. TTrades setups, okay, went over that. You wait for the higher low day to form and then I look for the higher low day to form and I just look for an entry. Like that's simply what my model does. I'm saying if we're going to get shorts, it doesn't make sense on NQ to have them until the end of the month because expansion candles, right? You can also pull up the text with Kane from this, right? You don't want to fight an expansion candle. We have a small wick and we're trading higher. Expansion candles usually close into their highs and lows, right? Here's an example. Forms a small wick, closes into its high, right? If you're going to have a short setup, it usually will occur then at the new month if it forms a reversal off this previous high. If I purchase the indicator, is there extensive training on it? I'm working on making a new video. I have an intro video, but it's pretty self-explanatory for the most part. It's just, we can go back to here. Let's go over here. When you have price, there's two reversal candles types. The easiest is candle 2 closure, so we'll focus on that. When price sweeps out its previous candle, closes back inside, it's also paired with a change in the state of delivery, then that's valid to look for entries in the following candle for me. So my indicator will mark out the CISD when it happens prior to the candle closure. But once that forms, it'll print the targets, the standard deviation projections, as well as the T-spot, which is where I want to see these wick form. So it's really that. I do need to make a new video because, for instance, you know, if you look, here's a bearish and a bullish setup. If we just go into auto bias on this, right? What does that mean? Well, it means it's looking at the daily candle, and you'll see it only looks for longs because it is bullish, right? So I need to go over that and make some training, but that's a good idea. I'll probably make that and put it on my blog. When seeking continuations after the higher low day formed, stay on the higher time frame. You can do that if you want, like here. After the low day forms, you don't need to go to the lower time frames here. You could stay on the 30. Right? If you're going to enter in here on the 30, what do you need? Some sort of protected swing. Reaches into fair value gap, closes over. Enter, stop, previous day high. There you go. Or even if you enter late, you can still get 2R there on the 30, just putting your stop there. So you can enter on the higher time frames, that's fine. What's TTFM? Is that your model? Yes. Let's go over some. Oh wow, that's just in the middle of nowhere. TTFM, TTrades, fractal, model, GXT. For those that are wondering, is Garrett, TTrades. So that's what it comes from. What is the framework for trading reversal candle? I actually have a video called Candle 2, and that goes over that. I used the fractal model 4-hour 30-minute on NQ Friday and was able to enter at 6:30, but closed early due to 8:30, 9:30 to manipulate my stop loss. I mean, it depends where your stop loss was, right? So, for instance, if you're entering 6:30, here's the thing. You entered 6:30, you actually have like such a great entry there. Your stop loss is here, and we get to 9:30, and we're up here. It doesn't really make sense for a price to go all the way down here and then back up, right? So it's like, there's no reason to exit that. Could you move your stop loss to break even? Sure, you can make a case for that, right? It's over 2R, right? But I don't see a reason to exit that, right? Because ideally, in terms of a continuation here, 9:30 should drive price higher. How do you align your model with internal to external liquidity? I actually kind of gave it away in my old videos, but it's really just this, right? It would just be this. Looking for the reversal to occur at a fair value gap, looking to target a high. That's it. It's pretty simple. Do you find yourself trading more often the 4-hour, 1-hour? Kind of a bit of both. Actually like the 4-hour and 15 the best, probably. These questions are fast. For 5 minutes, is auto bias 2 1-hour, 4-hour daily? Auto bias 2 goes to the daily. Auto bias 1 would go to the 4-hour there. Can we use the 1-hour candles as the second candle and the 15-minute as the CST? You can mess with it however you want. The time frames I use are just what I have found to be best when I made my model and then spent a year developing it. Do you use volume, CFD, big orders for confirmation? No, I don't look at anything in terms of order flow. Don't look at the tape, don't look at the DOM, don't look at the footprint. I don't use any of that personally. Okay, let's see. Do you use fair value gap SMT? I do consider when price reaches into a fair value gap on one asset, not the other as SMT, so can't do that. Do you trade the day before high impact news like CPI, FOMC? Yeah, if something's presented. My old video on that's a bit outdated. Is there expectations when hitting a fair value gap for us to fill it or not? I don't really care. I just wait for a protected swing to form or a candle closure. Just don't overthink it. Have you thought about automating your model into a bot? Yeah, I'm going to do that, and then, but I will never give that away. I'm being completely honest. Like, no one will ever know that I have a bot trading my model, except for me. so real. I'm not giving that away. I barely even gave my indicator away. No, high impact news. Is it okay to open a position before 9:30? That's if we have, you want to see ideally like some sort of protected swing prior to 9:30 to trade it. Otherwise, 9:30 might make the opposing run. Oh, what up, day trading realtor? I will give you admin perms for the homie. Can I do that? Let's see. Add as moderator. Bang. Added you. All right, let me get back to TradingView. How do you choose which high or low to target? I just use the most relevant one. Like, for instance here, why would you target this high and not this one? Like, this is a failure swing to previous day high. Doesn't really make sense that price would hit this one and not reverse, or in reverse while leaving this. Does it happen? Sure, but it just doesn't make sense. Are you going to upload to YouTube this live? It's going to sit on this channel. And then actually after this, my little brother's recording some trade reviews and stuff. So it's mainly like, I'm kind of pumping his channel, you know? And because the reason I did it on this channel is because my one video is doing really well. And I just know YouTube well enough that if I did a live stream on there, it would stunt the growth of it. So I'm not trying to do that. I recently changed my strat from DTF to SMC. I don't really trade SMC. I don't really know what that all is. But I would just go through my foundation playlist or my education playlist. Can you go over what you look for before market open? I already did that in this stream. I either look as high or low of day formed. If not, let it form. Applying your model to the H1 in the morning on different indices. What will happen if you have a stop loss on one and not the other? I personally try to not trade all across the assets because then I kind of have more exposure on multiple assets. I'd rather just have the exposure on one asset that I'm choose to be stronger or weaker. So that's not something I would know because I don't really do that. I don't trade like that. How would you have entered the trade on screen? Just 15-minute chart. There's two ways I would have traded this. 15-minute chart in terms of we formed a protected swing here. Can look to just long that in there. My stop there, targeting that previous day high. That's one way. The other way is you still use that as a point of interest. And then you're just looking for price to come back into here. When it closes, you're like, okay, now we have my model forming on the 15-minute and 1 minute, which this is what I talked about. Then I want to see 0.5 of this be respected. So if price opens, respects there, trades higher. Go to the 1 minute. Here's our area. Okay, we already have a reversal formed. Do we get a continuation? I just wait and see if we form a protected swing. Oh, nope, make a new low. Oh, we just formed a protected swing. I'll take a long on that. My stop there. Can I get 2R to my target? Wherever it is. Somewhere over there. But whatever. You guys get the point. There we go. Right. 2 to 2.5, previous day high. It's all right there. That's it. No, I don't trade Asia. The only time I'll trade Asia or the overnight session is if I'm positioning myself on the hourly or a higher time frame to trade an expansion. And that has to have a very specific case for positional entry. Can you give an example of how you use auto bias 1 or 2? Yeah, I mean, it's really just this, right? We'll just use the 15 for this case because day trading realtor is in here and this is his favorite. The auto bias will say, hey, what's the daily bias here? Since it's bullish, right? We've found from the daily and hourly here, it's bullish on this day. If I'm on the 15-minute and I use auto bias 1, it will say, okay, we're only looking, you can see it's on. we're only looking for longs because the daily is bearish. So it's not going to look for a bearish swing up here because that's opposite the bias. Right? So if I come back here and turn it to neutral, right, then it'll print that setup, right? So that's what it does. Does TTFM work on any session other than New York? Yeah, so it's fractal, works on all sessions, everything. We could pull up something random. Solana, I don't know, or like let's do something totally random. Doge, USDT. Go to like something like the hour. Oh, it's actually should print one right here. Yeah. There we go. Right. Candle closure. This is actually pretty picture perfect. Open high, right? Candle closure. Confirms that, confirms the wick. Expanding lower. Right. Or here's the bullish one. Right. It works on everything. Truly. Go to the daily if there's anything good. Ah, look at that. Indicator calls Dogecoin 90% move and 30% move. Well, I mean, you'd take this one to there. And then you'd take this one to there. And this is probably a retracement back into here where it's either going to form a low and trade higher or just go run all these swings out. But I don't trade Dogecoin, so I don't know. Yo, what up, Garrett? So all swing points are protected swings in your videos? You need it to have a protected swing. Not all swing points will have a protected swing. If it doesn't have one yet, it's not valid. At the end of the day, you can call what you want. Yeah, I don't really care what the strategy people call. Do you have any plans of adding higher day, lower day to the indicator? I mean, no, I don't. There's ways to do it. It's actually something I had coded, but it's just a bit too much to throw out there. So you would take it on the hourly when you see the close like that? I think you're talking about this. 1 hour. So there's a few ways you can trade this, right? If you're very confident in this move, it's like, you want to see this area respected. So any entry in here, where do you need your stop? At least on the body or on the high. So that's like more of a positional where you're just in here. You have your stop on the body of the high. Do we get 2R? Not yet. Right, so that's one option. The other is waiting for this to close through. Then you enter. And then you just stop on the body, at least there. 2R. Or you could refine down where you say, ah, nice. We have this. And here's an example of an auto bias one. Ready? We go to the 5-minute. Right, it's got all these. We turn on auto bias. Go auto bias 2 in this case because we want to reference the daily. See how it's only looking for the bearish setup? Ah, look at that. How is this form? That's an entry. When we close below, stop there. There's 2R, then you can hold runners. All right, now I'm break even with a partial at 2R, going wherever it's going. There. Right. Which we're not going to replay all this. Where are we at? Ah, nice. It hit our target. Hey, yo. Right. That's the first target. And then at that point, just consolidates so it can continue lower. But you see how, if you watch my videos, I actually gave this away why that's a target, not this one initially. You see how much longer it takes to hit that. After it hits the first one, it takes 2 days and 6 hours to still not even take out this low yet. What's the hardest thing to add in the indicator? I don't know. You mean hardest thing to add? It's just code. No, I don't use regular trading hours. most effective way to determine bias in your, just use the daily chart, and then use the hourly chart with the daily chart to look for fractal models. That's it. So we're gonna on neutral. Like the easiest way to get bias is just this. Turn on. Well, was I in replay? Yo, I was in replay. I thought that was real time. Nice. It did go and take out the targets. Cool stuff. You can see those did go hit. I just thought they hadn't yet, funny enough. But the easiest way to get bias is just daily and hourly fractal model. Prints this. Oh, nice. I'm bearish this day. Continuation, still bearish, but we have a large expansion. Expansion consolidation. What do you want to see in the consolidation? A run higher there. I don't know if it took out the high. For me to short this, it would need to take out the high. Ah, it took out the high. Close below. Hey, look at that. Another short. Hey, another short. And it prints out the target. Now you guys see how the indicator is a little bit overpowered if I add in other things too. Is the M5 entry short a simply a go because the 1 hour candle's bearish? It's my model, so it's just, we're bearish in this day. We have price open, we trade higher. Price needs to form a high in here, otherwise it's gonna fail. So then you're looking, we have a nice bearish candle closure. You can use the 5-minute entry in there. Right, it's kind of the same thing here. Price sweeps this out, comes back in. The only way this continues in here, without failing this, is it needs to form a high in here. So, was it valid in here? Let's go take a look. See if we can snipe an entry or not. Because we know we have our point of interest. We want to see it in there. 5-minute. We have a change in the state of delivery. Sure, you could take an entry in here, take a loss. If you wait for the extra confirmation, which I talk about, you're not going to get that. It's just going to run the high, right? So you just let that be, and you're just still waiting for a candle closure. Oh, there we go. Run out the high. Nice V shape. Boom. I can just enter that. Put my stop on the body or the high. Can I get 2R? 2R to there. That's kind of where I want to get that 2R. Because that can cause a retracement. Hey. You know, it's just the same thing over and over. Do you use H4 profiling like Garrett? I kind of look at multiple time frames. Like I'll just look at the hourly, look at the 4 hour. Does the code strictly use candle closures? The code uses a lot of different things, man. Like it does a lot of stuff. Right? Like T-spot, early CISD, once it confirms, it prints the whole model. We have SMT, projections, like it uses a lot of stuff. This is Doge. Yeah, we're watching Dogecoin, bro. It looks kind of fun to trade, I'm not gonna lie. Like maybe I start trading it. Like it actually looks pretty clean. But you would have to, it seems like actually like London is kind of sick in it. Yeah, I don't know what it is. London, early New York. Maybe if I travel, trade some crypto or something. It feels like a 2023, 2024 stream. Yeah, that's because we're on the second channel, bro. I just don't care. So, well, I care, but like, you know what I mean? There's no stress to it. I don't have to be all, how's it going, everyone? In this video, we are going to be looking for day trading realtor to find a short setup on Tuesday. If he has a London reversal lined up with a 15-minute change in the state of delivery, he will be seeking 2R following a continuation. I don't say anything like that. Like I just chill. I do more stock trading. Yeah, I've been trading some stocks, not a ton, but some. I'd pay to get access to the code. I'd make my own automation. Yeah, very respectfully, I will not sell the code. You'd have to pay me like a few mil for the code, like legitimately. Actually, probably a bit more. Let's see. Actually, yeah, it'd probably have to be like 8 to 10 mil for code. Like, I'm not even lying. More teaching questions. What platform do you use for your slides? I use Figma to make those. This really is your playground. Yeah, it's just fun. I mean, it's the same thing over and over. Like, you'll realize there's times where I don't know what is going on. Like, you go take a look at gold right now. Do I know what's going on right in here? Hell no. Could I trade in there? No, I'm going to lose money. Wait, let's see if we can probably come up with something. We'd be able to trade like a 5-second market maker model. 5 minute, 15-second. Let's see if we can catch something. 15-second. All right, there's our high. I wouldn't consider that the change in the state delivery. I'd use this. But let's see. There's that. Yo, 15-second, we're shorting this. My stop there. Over the EQ. Failure swings to the low. Easy. Let's see if we can pyramid this. How can I do replay? Trade. AO. Market. 100 contracts. For fun. All right, let's see if we can. Wait, I want to do it in a better way. We're going to do 10 or 5 and see how many we can get up to. All right. Let's go. All right, so essentially, we think that we have formed the wick here. We're not sure. That's why our stop is above the EQ. Because price could come back up here and it's still valid, right? But we want to be in this. All right, risking $450. Let's see. Oh, it's back up. Hey, no. Ah, it did go back up there, right? You see that? Now I just formed another continuation. It's very messy. If something looked like this is what I would do. If we had something like that, sick, right? Because then we have another continuation out of this. That's an add, right? So now I'm going to keep my 450 risk. I can probably add one more contract, right? Let's see. 1. Wait, what do you mean I can't? Yo, we're adding contracts. All right, we just added 3 contracts with $30 of risk. All right, that's where we could partial. Just depends how we feel. What do we feel, chat? Do we partial? Or do we hold and just keep slapping contracts? Right, because the whole thing is we're trading the 5-minute open high low close, right? So we want to let this wick form, trade that. We have what? We have a little bit of time left in this 5-minute candle. Right? I don't really expect it to go much further. But it's like we could partial. And then if we get a little move higher, then we could re-add. Right? So like maybe we just take out the 3 we added in. That'd be fun. Right? We're out of 3. Now we can go break even because here's the thing. Well, actually, I don't even know if we can go break even. Can I redo that? I can't grab it. How do I grab it? I don't know yet because this candle hasn't closed. If it closed like this, I can go break even. If not, then no. Let's see. Oh. Hey, yo. It's not closing nice. If it closes nice, right, then you expect 0.5 to hold. Didn't close nice. But that means what? Another opportunity to short. Don't trust the wick. All right, we want to sweep of this high. That'd be sick. It's not going to give it to us, is it? That's lame. All right, we still want the sweep of the high. Yo, this is so lame. All right, well, whatever. Now we can go break even. All right. Can partial off 3 more there. Oh, dang it. I went too fast. That would be another. It's a bit low in the range. right? You don't want to add. You want to be adding and like adding to your position above 0.5 or above 0.25. Once you're at this lower mark, it's a bit sketchy to add there, but like that's what you want to see, because now you have that 5-minute wick form there. And now at least trailer stop to there. Where are we at? I don't really want to replay this anymore. We'd get trailed out there. Hey, yo, that was fun. So basically what I just did there on the 5-minute and 15-second is what it's a lot easier to do just on the daily and like hourly, or like 4 hour and 15. A gamble? What do you mean gamble? It's literally my model. I printed it. Right? Let's go to something random, some completely random. Ready? We'll go on like a 5. We just want to see the 5-minute. We'll go Sol USDT. Ready? We're just gonna do this. So that way there's no cheating, you know? Right. I really wish I could see the higher time frames here, but I know it would like print the higher time frame candles, so we're gonna wait. Yeah, that looks nice. All right, let's see if we can catch like another 5-second one. Ready? We want to see reach below the low, swing. We're gonna catch it long. That'd be sick. That's lame. Oh, I missed it. All right, well, we missed the first one, but I pressed the button too fast. We hit our targets. We could expect a retracement now to this area. Now we go and do it. Dang it, that was so lame, man. This actually looks kind of sick though. Look at this. It's like a proper continuation entry. Yo, this is a positional entry. Ready for this? Why is this a positional entry? I don't know how many units we saw. Because we have a protected swing right next to the open of the new higher time frame candle. Right? That's a proper positional entry. It also would come back and retest, but boom. Now we sell. That's 2R. Should run that low. At least there. See, this is what I mean with relevant lows. Should just run all the way to the lows. We'll take off 4,000. Yo, I don't know how these units work, man. How many do I have? 4,000? Oh, I sold. I didn't buy. Awkward. Whatever. You guys get the point. Yeah, that's a sick trade. I wanted to catch this one. Boom, boom. Trade to these failure swings. But it didn't want to sweep. Anyways, that's enough of that. Bro, there's no way. I don't limit order like almost anything. But here, actually, this is such a sick example. If you guys want to learn how to take positional entries, this is literally one. You're expecting the wick to form below here. You have a protected swing that's already forming at that area. You're opening the candle right near where it would be a retest. Do you want to do this where you enter, you're in the trade, right? Or are you going to be greedy for like 3 ticks? Let's see. You see what I mean? That's why you just enter at the open. What a positional entry is. How to decide when you market order or wait for the retest. Yeah, I just showed that. Like I almost never wait for the retest unless here would be the case of a retest. Ready? Like let's say this is my final target there. Even that doesn't work. Or we'll use it here. Ready? This is my final target. If I enter a market order right here and my final target's that makes no sense. 1.14R. That's where I need to move it until I can get 2R. Boom. Now I can limit order. Bang. You feel? Now Right, this is actually, this is kind of fun. Wait, ready? I think this is something I learned the other day. We can click here. Wait. How you could go to, I thought it let you choose like it would just go to a random day. Anyways, let's zoom here. I don't know what's going on. And ready, chat, you're gonna walk me through a trade using my model. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Fairly bullish structure. All right, chat, are we thinking long or short? You tell me, and then we'll only trade in that direction. Brunis says long. Tony says long. All right, everyone's saying long, so we're gonna look for longs, all right? So if we're trading long, here's kind of the options, right? We want to see, ideally not that low hit. Yo, should we rip a positional entry? But here's the thing about positional entries. One, you need specific structure. Two, you need a bias. If I had a strong bias, how strong is our bias here, guys? We haven't seen anything else. Do we have a strong bias? Do we have a not very strong bias? Because we can rip something if we have a strong bias. Dan's saying short. Anyways, if we have a very strong bias, we're ripping something that looks like this. We're just taking this entry, putting my stops there. Looks something like that, right? Or let's do this, chat. If we're going to form a reversal here, we want to see a candle 2 reverse off this low. Time to the 15-second. Chat chose long. We're looking for longs. We're looking for a reversal off this low. V-shaped reversal, and then we can long it. All right, we took off the low. So I'm so tempted. I'm so tempted, guys. If you have like such a strong bias, you can do stuff like this. It just gives you insane risk to reward. 21R. Nah, we'll play it safe. But that's what you would look for if you have a strong bias. Yeah, see, it wouldn't work. All right, not a shallow wick below the low. So what does that mean? We let this candle close. And it looks like we were wrong. Who was right? Who was right? Who said short? PJ. So you see, there's no confirmation to get long there though. No way, bro. Not a chance that I long away from that. All right, same thing. So now we want to see. Ideally, wait, we need this. We need price to close, make a reversal here, and then go. Because this is a bearish expansion candle. All right, that looks decent. Let's see. I don't know how Solana moves, man. Not looking that bad. We're bullish. What are we feeling? It's not pretty structure. You can make a case for the structure that this is bullish. You'd have to do this. But that's if we're still long. Are we still long, chat? This is not really my model right there. You'll see it's not printing anything, so we'll just let it go and we'll catch a continuation later if it goes. Yeah. There we go. That's better. There's the sweep of the low. There's that. Now we could look for a long setup, which is what? Reach into this fair value gap. Continuation. Or we can be crackheads and look for the same thing we did earlier on the 15-second, where we're looking for to trade candle 2 inside there. Which one do we do? Do we go to the 15-second or do we sit on the 5-minute? You guys let me know. We're trading this only with a long bias. Drop down. Oh, we got someone saying drop down, someone saying wait. Crack model. Everyone wants it. All right, here we go. So we're in that 5-minute fair value gap. I'm not trusting that CISD. No way it was right. That's so lame. All right. Here we go. That's the 5-minute level. Oh, I actually missed the 5-minute level. It's this one. So we want to see a close over this level. That's not amazing. So not trusting that. Yeah, that's not fun. Well, it is now doing what, guys? It is now consolidating because it failed to close over this level, which means what? That we want to see another run below this low if we're going to trade it higher. Well, now it just breaks out, right? That's the continuation you could trade. We'll try it. 2, 3. This will be our long. We can get 2R to this high, and you could hold runners. Oh, it stops us out. And that is Solana. It did what we initially wanted. It's a bit of a chase, I would say. ADA? What's ADA? It's really hard to trade without looking at the higher time frame. Like, I will say that. Ah, that's a range trade if I've seen one. Nope, it's not a range trade. Yes, it is a range trade. So still want to see this go there. That forms a low. We trust in that low? Why is it like to make these shallow sweeps? Not a fan. All right, let's see, guys. If it was indices, I would say I'm looking for a swing there to trade it higher. I don't know what this ticker does. Oh, let's see. Just missed it, man. It's a bit unfortunate. See, futures would definitely just take out that low. Shame. Yeah. Anyways, it's not as precise. That's, if it would have done this, that would have been sick. That's what you want. But let me walk you through the analysis because I kind of speedrun that. Basically, I looked, we have what? Expansion, consolidation. We swept out the range low in the consolidation. We have price closing like this. So what does that mean? Very simple trade is trading back to this high. So that's our drawn liquidity. That's why I marked it out. You go to the 5-minute. If our drawn liquidity is this high, we're just wanting to find protected lows. Very shallow sweep. It's not clean. It trades away though. So you're not expecting it to return here. So I marked out the fair value gap and that. For me, especially on futures, when I see a candle with no wick here, right around the EQ of this, I'm thinking, oh nice, it can sweep out right into that, and then that's where I want to look to get long. Because when you can get long right here, your invalidation's right there. Right? And then you can trade to that high. But anyways, I'm getting kind of tired, and I'm going to miss my sauna. This is not back testing, man. This is like troll testing. Do it with auto bias on? Yeah, we can rip that. Auto bias. Hey, yo. It's bearish, man. It prints a bearish setup immediately invalidated. Let's speed run it and see what happens. At the range high now, right? So a few things that happen. Usually if we're going to continue, get a consolidation and then run. So let's see. Yeah, it looks like that. Or we're going to run back through the range. We're waiting for auto bias to print something. Auto bias only trades continuation, so it's going to print like a bearish setup down here. That one was the one. Range high, range low. That's the one. 15-minute, 4-hour model. Yo, the 1 minute should be. Oh, auto bias. Let's go. If we were on the 1 minute, it printed it, but I'm a bit tired of this, honestly. It's a bit quick. But let's do it on something that's like a little bit less, not dumb, but you know what I mean. Dumb. The daily is like so much easier to trade. There's the daily. It's bullish structure, but I don't like the current. Right, so this is bullish, but I don't like these. So like ideally, sweep that, go to there, and do something. Speed run. We could technically short this, but I mean it's bullish. Yo, that is not clean. Oh, that's actually clean. So then now I want to see run to that low. Should we try to get on side with it? See if we can get something. Oh, I might actually do it. Crazy work. Let's see if we can get it. Oh, okay. Might actually want to do it. Okay. All right. All right. Can we short this with 2R? And then end the stream? Nah. All right. Just gonna do that. Bang. Let's see. No. How does this thing move? Anyways, that would be the trade. Basically, the idea is we're trying to trade probably the worst structure possible. Price early in the day confirms its upper wick, so then I'm expecting to continue lower. Price then reaches back up into here and look for a continuation out of there, which is ideal to go to the failure swings. It just didn't happen. It probably, let's see, this fails. Who told me that ADA is better? They're trying to kill me, man. Guys, look at this. We were trying to trade this when this is the move. Like I said, I should have just waited. I said I was bullish. I just wanted to run at these lows and to trade higher. That move's so much easier to trade. But anyways, any last questions before we... Oh, yo, let's give away another indicator, hey? Because I'm pretty tired. And it's honestly trolling. What we'll do someday, we'll do an actual backtesting session. One that's not like some random asset, speed running it. Because like here, let's zoom out here and see what's going on. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm never trading something that looks like this. Like, here's an actual lesson for you. Right? Look at this. Range, range. Inside of the range. Boom, boom. We're just chilling here, right? Do we want to be trading inside that? No. What do I want to trade? I want to trade something like this. Expansion, retracement. There's the swing. There's 2 days that I trade. All right, come back in. Take that out. There's nothing really for me to long in here. Unless we had something that looked like that. Okay, take that out. If we're still bearish, boom, 2 days to trade. Take that out. Not interested in this next day. Reach up into the fair value gap. Closure. Boom, 2 days to trade. Not interested in less and less runners. See what I mean is like why like choosing actual conditions matter. Because you can pattern trade. Like we're just pattern trading, guys, and we got railed. So is Garrett going to be live trading? We're working on something, honestly. All right, how should we do this? Wait, guys, ready? To enter the giveaway, you must go to my website, sign up to the newsletter. When you are done, just do news, say news. And then the winner, I'll give you the code and I'll just cross-reference they signed up. Because I'm planning on sending out an email, my first email later this week. So when you're using the 5-minute, 3-minute fractal model profiling, do you want to see all the candle point in the same direction? Yeah, because that's where an expansion occurs, right? So like, let's go here, ready? Last little lesson. What do we notice here? Higher time frame. We have this reversal candle. We have a small wick, right? This small wick says that it can support expansion lower too. That would be the target, right? Makes sense? So like if we just put this on neutral, turn off the auto bias, we'll print the model, right? So it's saying, hey, can be bearish in here. Same with there, bullish in there, bearish in here, right? It supports expansion lower. That's when it's ideal to use these lower time frame swings because all the time frames point in one direction. So like if we go to something like this, right? We go to the 4-hour, right? Once we have all those time frames pointing in the same direction, that's when expansion occurs, right? Because right now the daily is bearish, right? On this next candle flip. The daily's bearish, the monthly's bearish, or 4 hours bearish. I guess this is just the weekly time frame. Everything's bearish. You know what I mean? I wonder what's going on now. Yo, crypto will always amaze me, man. I just don't know what the hell's going on in there. Anyone was in the Discord when I was trading that meme coin that one time? That was peak comedy. I'll tell that story before we leave after we choose the winner. All right, so you guys all signed up to the newsletter. I'm going to be putting out value. That's about it. It's like little lessons. What website? The Lens? Nah, the website is, you go TTrades.com. And then you just go to the bottom. It should say newsletter. I think. Pretty sure. Right. Let me check on my side screen. Here on the home page. Yeah, if you just scroll to the bottom, it says subscribe to newsletter. All right, and then we'll choose one. Should we choose it after you guys want to hear the meme coin story? It's actually hilarious. Oh, here, I can just copy the link. Copy. Paste. We gotta send this. It's actually hilarious, right? So it was actually when I was coding the indicator. What was that, like a year ago now almost? And I was like, all right, I put $1,000 into the Phantom wallet thing. I didn't know what the hell I was doing at all. And then I just found one meme coin. And I was like, all right, I'm either getting a GT3 RS or I'm losing $1,000. Like that was my whole idea. And put all 1,000, it was like $900. I can't remember how much it was, like right around there. Put it all into there. Then obviously I don't tell anyone what coin I'm in or anything like that because I'm not a scammer and trying to pump it. And there's someone in particular that did that, which was literally whatever. Anyways, I'm sitting there. I check my phone like, I don't know, like 2 hours later, and it's like I have $300, and I was like, damn, the end of my crypto run, you know, or meme coin run. And then like I wake up the next day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're back. We're like back at break even. And then what? It was like I have it on Snapchat. It was like would slowly go up. It was like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, got to like 4,000, then back to 2,000, then to like 5,000. And then I remember I was on my stream in October in the market lens. I'm sitting there. I was like up like, I don't know, like 7,000 or something. I'm just sitting there. I was like, I was like, I'll probably take some off at 10K. Like that's probably the smart thing to do, you know? And I start my stream and I saw it like spike, and like you have to realize I don't know like anything about these crypto like meme coins, right? So I'm like trying to figure out how to sell. I'm like, I'll just do it after my stream, right? Not really worried about it at all because I'm like, I've been holding this thing for like 4 days or something. And then like right after my stream, I check and it's down at like $3,000. And I was like, oh, I went from like 1,000 to 300 to 11 or 12K, and then didn't sell, and then back to like break even. It was hilarious. It was actually the funniest thing though. Like I'm sitting there just like it was actually funny. People in my Discord, I had like shared the little story with them. They were enjoying it too. All right, let's choose a winner here. It sucks. I don't know, man. It's just like a lot of people see it as like I lost 10K, but like I just didn't make any money. Like that's all it is. Like it's worth it in the memories. All right. Yeah, no as you can see, I don't have a GT3 RS, so it clearly didn't work out. You guys should have known. All right, let's go. We're choosing someone, news, and it is Ledewell. 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 Please, what I can. How do I say your name? Yo, yeah, you won. The person that just said WTF. Please, let me know your Discord name and send me a message on Discord. I'll get you your code. And then as for, I have 3 other to give away. I'll probably just run it on Twitter. I'll just do a quick little giveaway where you can do it. Please, real quick, can you send me a DM on Twitter or on Discord just so I can confirm it before I hang up? Otherwise, you won't get a code and then I'll feel like a piece of crap, you know? Ledewell? Yeah, can you send me a DM real quick and then I'll confirm. Yo, we've just been sitting here on the most random assets. Did gold go lower? Oop. That's what I mean, guys. I have no idea what's going on right here. And I never do normally. These very specific cases when I do. All right, let's see here. Just send me a message request. Should be able to, if you're in the Discord, yeah? All right, let's see. Let me know when you send me a message request. Oh. Yeah, Keith, you still in the... So Keith actually has my indicator, but for those of you that do have the indicator and you win, it's not like you don't win anything. You just get a month added onto your indicator. So, I'm not in any trading discords right now. I left all of them to lock in on trading. All right, respect. Let me Ledewe. Let me let's add you as a friend so I can. All right, I sent you a friend request. Ledewu. And you accept it, I'll send you. If you win, right, and you already have access to the indicator, you already pay, you just would send me your email, and then I do the work in the back end, and you just get a month added on for free. So that's it. It's not much work. You just send me your email. That's it. All right. Well, any final questions? Any final questions before we end? Hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Have a little gambling stream. Not really. We can quickly look at analysis real quick. Let's see. I mean, oh, nice. That was my drawing that I drew on Friday. Worked out pretty decent. Nice. All right, we're gonna remove all those. We don't need those. So indices makes the most sense to trade to previous day high tomorrow, today. NQ's already up there, so like you can see, NQ's strongest means YM's the weakest. It's hanging a lot lower. You have the ES just hanging in the middle. Not fun. Gold is bearish. looking for this high, or not bearish, bullish. Yeah, the other ones are completely above it. They're not even taking out. So yeah, gold should run this high ideally. Silver over the highs. Gotta check the daily chart on this. It's bullish. It's just I'm not trying to trade long over highs, so that's not interesting. Oil. Ah, dang, bro. It's actually really kind of pissed me off. I missed that. I thought I set an alert, but no. Anyways, I was looking to short oil right in here for a move to previous month's low. So that is my whole idea for oil. Previous month's low. That's kind of a shame. What is that move? Dang. Anyways. Well, that sucks. Anyways, oil bearish. RB, they're all bearish for me. In Forex, where are we at? Forex currencies. So, talked about this on the monthly open, was looking for euro to trade higher. Euro traded higher, reversed off this. It's not really interesting this month. Why? Because it has a large wick. Do we really expect it to go rip lower? No. Wait for the new month. So really, you're expecting this move to kind of just come in, chill, can take out one of these lows. Not that interesting. Pound's more bearish. Divergence off the highs. Pound could reach slightly lower. Like I said, not that interesting. JPY got its previous month's high, small wick that supports expansion lower. And go see the current month's low. Pretty chill draw on liquidity there. CAD, not much. Swiss franc, kind of same thing, long wick, not that interesting till the next month, but that's looking pretty decent for the run to these lows. And NZD, not much. It's not that interesting. Could trade back to its monthly open if you want. So that's kind of it for me. Dollar, nice V-shape reversal off the low. Dollar looks like fun to there, which means if this is bullish, you just want to find the weakest asset, which would be GBP right now, or NZD is quite weak. NZD, NZD USD, probably already trending. That's the thing, though. Yeah. Anyways, I don't even watch Forex much anymore, so just currency futures for fun. Maybe I'll swing something. How can we enter the giveaway? They're just random giveaways. It's not too deep. Yeah, this will just be saved on the bros channel. But yeah, hopefully the analysis helps. Oil to the lows. So gold higher, oil lower, Forex, most of the majors lower while the dollar goes higher. And that's really it. Indices higher too, but likely that just gets taken out by NQ in the overnight session here. So then really the only kind of interesting thing for me here is because my model, it doesn't want me to trade after this point, is if I'm trying to trade this, is do we form a reversal off previous day high in which I can trade back to there. Right, and why there, that's the protected low there, the low right there. That's kind of the only thing I could give for indices there. All right, that's it. Hopefully you stayed and got the analysis. If not, that doesn't matter as well either. So we'll end it there. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll text the giveaway winners right now, and then that's it. Talk to you guys later. Hopefully you enjoyed. Peace.